Hey guys, this is Miss Santos, and this week we're going to be talking about acids and bases. We're going to be talking about the properties for both, and we're also going to discuss how the ions are involved. Here we're looking at something of a refresher. We talked about this when we talked about ionic compounds, and if you look here, both of these would be ionic. One of the most important things that we need to understand before we go explore acids and bases is how ionic compounds break down to form ions. This first example, we have calcium hydroxide. When this breaks down, you can pause right here if you want to try it first. Gives you a calcium ion, and I have to put the symbol, or I mean the charge for calcium, which is +2 and it's found on the periodic table. When we are discussing ions, you always have to have a charge for it. The second half, we have hydroxide. It's a polyatomic ion, and that's OH. I'm going to put it in parentheses so I can put my charge, which is -1. And this 2 signifies that we have 2 of them. So I'm going to put a 2 in front. So this means that calcium hydroxide breaks down to give me 1 calcium ion, a positive ion at that, and 2 -1 hydroxide ions. The next one we're looking at is HCl. This one breaks down to give you a positive hydrogen ion and a -1 chlorine ion. When we look at a combination reaction, so here we have a double replacement reaction, we always switch the partners, if you guys remember that when we talked about types of reaction. So we're going to start with this one. We already saw the breakdown here, and it breaks down to give you calcium, two OH, and then we're going to have chlorine, sorry, and we have the hydrogen that comes over here. Okay, and it's 2 hydrogens and 2 OHs, so we can actually put the 2 here, and hopefully it doesn't lag. Okay, I'm going to erase this here. So this actually represents, and if there's any pauses, I apologize, but my internet's horrible, would be 2H2O. Okay, so this is actually, oh, and on top of that, also we have to keep in mind that this is a +2 and a -1, so it'll be CaCl2. Okay, so right here we actually have a reaction, a neutralization reaction actually, and we're going to learn about that further down. So let's take a look at acids and bases. So with acids, it's important to understand that they have their own characteristics just like bases do. Acids have a sour taste. Think of limes. They also, when we have an aqueous solution, can conduct electricity. And if we go back to the previous slide, this is an acid right here, HCl. And acids form ions. And because it forms ions, it can conduct electricity. They react with certain metals above H2 on table J to create hydrogen gas. Causes acid-base indicators to change color, and we're going to talk about that later down the road. Acids in water solutions contain hydrogen ions. And what I mean by that is that they form, when they dissociate, they form H plus ions. And if we go back to the previous slide, this is what I'm talking about. We have an acid here that dissociates to give you a hydrogen ion. So we can actually almost say that when we're looking at acids, acids usually have hydrogen in them, like HCl. So I'm going to write HCl down here as an example. Bases, on the other hand, have more of a bitter taste. They have a slippery or soapy feeling. I'm not sure if any of you guys, or you might have used Clorox bleach to clean something, and then if you touch it with your hands, you get like that soapy feeling. You have to wash your hands multiple times to get that soapy feeling off. That's because Clorox would be considered a base. Conducts an electric current, so it's only on strong bases. Reacts with acid to produce water and salt. And if we go back to here, go back to the previous one, this would be our base over here. This was our acid, and this is the base. So the base reacts with the acid to give you a salt and water. And that's what that was talking about. So that's something they both have in common, actually. I didn't put it here, but they both have this in common. Okay, so this one we would say reacts with a base to produce water and salt, and this one reacts with an acid to produce salt and water. Causes acid-base indicators to change colors, and again we will talk about that later. And base's water solution contains hydroxide ions, so it would be OH minus. And that's actually over here. Okay, so CaOH, when it breaks down calcium hydroxide, gives me 2 hydroxide ions. Okay, and that's really what you need to know for now. And we will definitely be talking more on this next time on our next session. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And I hope you guys all have a great day.